What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is ASA Studio channel for photographers. Today I'm going to be showing you how to retouch your beautiful images using frequency separation and how to color grade them. But first of all, if you're new to the channel, kindly subscribe if you enjoy the content we post. So without further ado, let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do before doing the frequency separation is to try and balance the color of the blemishes with that of our skin tone. Alright, I like making the color or the skin tone uniform. That's the first thing I like doing before I make any other step. Alright, so the first thing to do is to create hue and saturation layer, and then hit on the hand tool, and then now let's select the red part of the blemishes and increase the slider of the hue. You can see it actually changes everything in the red channel. Alright, so we're going to use this slider to select the place only, just like this. And if I turn it off and on, you can see that that's the only part that is selected. Alright, so cancel it for the now and come here, the brush tool, make sure the foreground color is black because here is actually white. You can zoom in, let's zoom in and increase the brush, and I'm going to remove it from our lips like so, because I don't want to remove the red part of our lips, so I want it there. Okay, so now let's go back to let's select the hand tool, the move tool, and go to the hue and saturation, click on the red channel, which is the magenta, I guess, yeah. So make this one 0, and now we can do it again. Let's mess around with the slider till we get something that's actually uniform with the skin. So I guess this around this blue is actually uniform, makes it uniform with the skin tone. So somewhere around 31 looks fine to me, but if you feel like 33, let's leave it at 31 or 33. I'm going to put it at 31 and then hit the red button so we can see before the red and after. Looks more like the skin tone. Alright, so let's zoom in and see if we have other places. I guess other places looking a little bit different, unlike this one before and then after. Alright, so now let's create a stem visible layer and then run our frequency separation action. So go to window, action. I've actually taught how to create frequency separation action is on the channel already, so you can actually get that, and let's play it, and it will choose that for us. Let's just zoom in and see the eyes, or let's just cancel it, and for the now I'm just going to undo that, Ctrl Z. Okay, so let's do it manually. I'll go to duplicate the layer, Ctrl J twice, turn off this one, select this one, go to filter and blur, Gaussian blur, and let's choose the radius. I'm just going to increase it up to have something like this. The more you blur, the more texture you get, so let's leave it like this, and then click on OK because I want to get more texture. And now I'm going to click on this one, the upper layer. You can name it. Let's name this one color and name this one texture. Enter, go to image, apply image, and it's an 8-bit image. Change the layer to color and change the multiply, which is the blending mode, to subtract, and you have your texture and your color separated. Let's group the two together and open it back. And for the texture layer, we use the clone stamp tool, while for the color layer you select the mixer tool brush. But before that, change the texture layer, the blending mode, change it to linear light, and then you have your image back. Alright, so you can now zoom in and then brush with your mixer tool brush, just like this. Let's increase the brush and blur like that. You see that the color is actually fading into the rest, and you can keep do this for the photo. One thing I like avoiding is the highlight. So somewhere like this, if you do the highlight, you see that the highlight is actually going to be flattened. So I don't like touching where the highlight is when using the mixer tool brush, but the rest part I like, just blending it all. Now the reason why I actually use a little bit of blur, I didn't blur it very well, is because I want this is actually intense. The blemishes is actually very more, the color and the the way it is actually intense, so that's why I blurred it a little. If I actually blurred it very well, you will notice that this side I'm actually trying to blend will not actually blend. You still be seeing the blemishes around her face. So something like this. I'm gonna pause the video and then I'm going to quickly do this. So I'm actually done with the color blending. You can see I've blended the colors together. Now I'm going to do the texture by selecting the clone stamp tool and then using Alt to sample, holding down Alt, right click, and then go over and then start clicking. But first of all, let's increase the size and zoom in. So hold down Alt, right click, left click, sorry, and then left click to fix in and if that doesn't change, you need to go back to the clone stamp tool, like the color layer, and then pick the mixer tool brush and you can blend that place. I guess that will fix, just like that. So when you use the clone stamp tool and you find it difficult for the blemishes to go out, that's how you fix it. So I'm just going to quickly fix all the blemishes. So pick a place and then you can actually just fix the blemishes like that. So all this place you can see some of the blemishes remaining. You can do the same the way I did the first one. So I'm gonna pause the video and then I'm gonna do the rest. Alright, so I'm through with the frequency separation. Just for the sake of the tutorial, I'm gonna leave it like this. You can actually go on doing more frequency separation twice, or as many times as you can, and then run some skin tone retouching, skin texture retouching actions. And I'm going to show you how to make a skin tone retouching action, so you see some skin textures. Alright, so let's script a stamp visible layer. Control alternate E and hit E, and let's do some color grading. So for the color grading, I'm going to be using the camera raw filter, just because I just want to mess around with the orange, magenta, every other colors in it, and I don't want to use the selective color. But first of all, let's fix some certain things, just like the white. Let's bring down the white little, and then take up the highlight to have more of the highlight. And I'm going to bring down the exposure to make it calmer, and let's take back the white up. Then since we decrease exposure to something like this, I'm going to bring down the blacks to create more depth, and the shadows, let's raise it up, but the blacks too much. Okay, so apart from that, we can also increase the texture. You know what the texture does, that's too much for now, just a little bit, and we can mess around with vibrance, but not now. I want to go to the color mixer straight, or let's use the curve first of all. So dab and create up, then dab and create down, just like that. Let's turn it off and on and see what we did off and on, so you can see how it's added. Now to the mixer, I want the orange to look more like the yellows, so let's take it forward, something like that. Looks great to me. Change the hue and make the red more red, but not looking purple. Just take it back, it looks like orange. I don't want that, so just a little bit of the red, and the yellows, make tilt them towards the yellows. And the greens, we can actually make them look like the greens itself, so you can see the background changing more in the aqua towards the green too. Alright, so go to the blues. Now the greens on our shade, I'm going to make that very saturated like so, and that's too much. Okay, so on the yellows, let's give it some more saturation as well. The oranges, more saturation, and the red, more saturation, like that. I'm not going to touch the luminance, but we can touch the luminance of the orange and bring it back a little, just like that. So we're through with the color mixer. I like going to the calibration, and the calibration first skin, like taking it to the front, make it look like some cameras. So take this one forward, and the more you take it, the more you find more interesting places to put it. I'm going to take it all up again, and let's make the green follows the red this time around, and we have it like this. Wonderful. So we can click OK and see our final result, which is our color grading. Okay, so if you want to add more feel on color grading, you can use the color balance. And let's go start with the shadows. I feel like adding more red to the shadows, give it more depth, and we can give it a cool, nice looking blues like that. And I'm going to go to the highlights and add in some yellows and also some cyan, just a little bit color grade, -3. Okay, we can add in some of these two magenta. Alright, so I'm not going to touch the midtones, so I just add from these to this with our color grading. Alright, so if you enjoyed the video, kindly like and subscribe. If you want to know how to make skin texture, hit the notification button, because that will be our next video. Thanks guys for watching. Once again, this is ASAS.